Morristown is one of those places you've probably not heard of, but you've heard of the company or the organization that's there. Morristown is home to the Seeing Eye. And the Seeing Eye is, of course, the place that trains seeing eye dogs. Well, I was sitting down with the head trainer, and we were talking about this process, interesting process of training seeing eye dogs. As you're looking for interview questions, you're always looking for something to elicit an interesting response. So I asked him what I thought would be an interesting question. What is the most difficult thing to train a seeing eye dog to do? Now, I thought that would be cross a busy street, because I've always wondered, how does a dog go up to the street corner, and dog colorblind, how can it tell which light's which? How does it know when to go? So I asked if that was it. He kind of smiled, but he said, you know, that's tough, but it's not really the toughest. Because think about it, you're blind, you walk up to the corner, you give the command to go. Well, the dog still has eyes. The dog can see if there's a car coming, so if you give the command to go, the dog usually doesn't walk in front of the car, get hit, and die just because you say go. That's instinct. We really don't have to train instinct, and that's part of it, intelligent disobedience. But he said, in my line of work, I found that's not the most difficult. Well, what is the toughest then? Again, he kind of smiles, and he has big windows in his office, and around the Seeing Eye, there's a big yard. He looks out one of the windows, and he said, well, it's probably that big oak tree out there. I'm thinking, that oak tree, what's that have to do with it? Now, it may not be what you're thinking of at this point. The dogs are not taking pit stops by the oak tree. He could tell I was confused. He said, well, how high off the ground is that lowest limb? I said, oh, maybe 5 feet. Toughest thing is when we put a blind person on that harness, that dog has to realize it can't go underneath that tree anymore. Otherwise, we've got a lot of blind people around here with a lot of headaches. And that just isn't going to cut it, he said. Then he said something that went far beyond dogs. He said, you know, when a dog leaves our little school here, it must no longer see the world from 2 feet off the ground. It must see the world from 5 feet off the ground. Just like working with people, he said. If you only see it through your eyes, you just give them a lot of headaches.